Now, when you understand which tools do you need to create a professionally looking image on your set, I will share with you some tips on how to create those tools on your own in case you are on very low budget. I have been in this situation some years ago and I needed to have better pictures, so I invented some things, as usually we do when we lack resources. So if you are in this situation, it's okay. You will plan to purchase a professional setup, but now you can handle it with some tricks. I must say that DIY tools can be difficult to manage. They can be messy, they can create mess, like created out of the stuff you have at home, and also they can be unsafe, so you have to be very careful. Let's start with diffuser. For diffuser you can use simple baking paper. So let me demonstrate to you how this looks if I will use this LED on my face. So you can see that it lights my face strongly here, but if I take the baking paper, it's already a little bit better. I even can look at the light, so I cannot look at the light like this, it's too much, but with the diffuser it's already much better. So you can use the paper, but you need to ensure that it has a distance from your light. It has, like, for example, distance like this, and you need to ensure you have larger surface. So the baking paper, it has specific width. I don't have the roll, so you need to put two baking papers together, stick them together so that you have the surface you need. It has to be larger surface and a distance from this light source. And you will need clips like this to attach it to something. So these clips they cost like $2 for $1, so you can purchase lots of them because you will need to clip many things. Next one is reflector. We use reflector to fill the shadows, so you can use two different materials for reflector. First material is foil paper. So going back to kitchen, the foil paper. Now let me show you how the foil paper reflects again our light. So the light shouldn't look at us, it should look here. It should be directed here, and then it reflects, so you can see the reflection. It should fill any shadows there are. Because I have the proper setup, I don't have so many shadows to show you, but I think it was enough to demonstrate. Let me try one more time. So I would direct the light on it and it has to reflect. Okay, something like that. Let me try without lights, actually. So this is how it reflects the light. Okay, so another thing you can use as a material to reflect the light is the white paper. That's the paper I bought for our business mapping. So it has to be thick, it has to be straight. You have to locate it in a way that it will reflect the light. So again, let me try to demonstrate. Let's create a light source. So you can see how it reflects the shadows on the left. Obviously, it depends on the direction. So you have to set up. As you can see, working with soft materials is a little bit difficult. So you need to have a cardboard and you have to stick these materials on the cardboard so that you can manipulate it, because the surface has to be straight. Note that reflectors, they need to have this strong key light. So this was just to demonstrate to you, but it has to have a strong key light that is set on this side. So it's not a standard 3-point setup, because in standard 3-point setup the key light we have 45 degrees from the camera, but in this case you need to have it more close to 90 degrees so that it will light the reflector and you direct the reflection on you by moving the cardboard, so you need to catch this reflection on your face to fill in the shadows. The light. For the light, you need to purchase 4-socket fluorescent bulb adapter, which will allow you to stick 4 bulbs, fluorescent bulbs in it. Of course, you will need to purchase 4 fluorescent bulbs, and there you have different prices you can choose from. In the previous video I have explained why the cheapest is not the good solution because of the flickering it might have. Or you can purchase base socket light bulb holder, which is created for studio. The difference between a 4-socket fluorescent adapter and this another option is that you have the switch that will allow you to turn on and off the lights in case you need to have less intensity, because it's actually a holder for a studio. But the price is very affordable, it's around $25. Remember to look at kelvins. You remember which kelvins you need to have at least 5600 for your face to be lighted naturally. For the microphone, which I have suggested to you, Lavalier, is very cheap. It can be very affordable. Of course, the better quality, the higher is the price, but the low-end microphone can do the job for you for the first time. Just ensure that you have the 3-meter cord for it, so that you can connect your recording device easily. Now, if you don't have this opportunity, and I believe this is temporary because you are creating those products so that you have all the equipment you need, so you can reach more people with your good news. So we will see how you can apply just a headset. So here is the regular headset. You have a microphone over here. So what you can do, you can stick it into a device and hang it over here. Of course, you will need to hide the earpiece, so it should be going somewhere under your clothes, so you will have microphone hanging somewhere like this. And I don't advise to use the microphones that are wireless and are inbuilt in your wireless earpiece, because they were not designed to capture the sound well. They were designed for a comfortable use mostly. So there is something like metal sound there inside, and it's not good to listen to someone speaking to the camera with this sound. So you need to understand that your voice will be distorted in any case if you are using the headset. Another thing to note is that the headset will have a very short cord. So it's going to be up to 1 meter cord, and it's not enough to attach to your camera. Usually your camera will be more than a hand from you. It's going to be like more than 1 meter, and this is approximately 90 centimeters. So you don't want to have that short cord sticking to your camera and look not good. So you will need to have another device where you will record your audio, and then you will have to combine video and audio during the editing process. The next one is the backdrop. Backdrop is what I have over here, this material. If you can't purchase the backdrop, the solution would be to use bed sheets or curtains. But you need to ensure that they are not white or blue, like usual bedsheet color. You need to have brighter color, toned down. It has to be even, no patterns. It should be thicker bedsheet, the thickest you have, and it should have no wrinkles and no patterns, no reflection. Also, you can use the wool, but in this case you need to ensure that it's evenly painted. There is no texture and there are no patterns, any patterns, so it has to be plain. And also the colors that are usually used for walls like beige or white doesn't look good on camera, so it has to be tested. You will have to stick your backdrop to the wall, or you can use for this the masking tape. The good thing about masking tape is that it is sticking well to the material you want to stick, to the wall and other materials, and also it's easy to remove without leaving any clue on it. But be careful with sticking it to paper walls, because it might destroy a little bit this connection surface. So lastly, let me introduce the broomstick. What do you do with the broomstick for your setup? So this can be used as stand. Just be careful that it can be dangerous if you don't set up the things properly on your broomstick, but it can be done. You have to be really careful. So you can use the broomstick and rubber bands to connect your phone, for example. So you would do this. So in this space you can add your phone because it's really safe, and you can set it up so that the camera will be facing you and a record like this. So that's my phone setup. You can see that it holds well. The only thing is that we are recording on this camera, so obviously you have to set up in a way that is gonna be showing what you are recording. You can use more rubber bands. No one will see what you are using to record, so that's fine. I have been doing this when I didn't have the tripod and stand. Same goes for the light stand. You can use more reliable material to stick something is the masking tape. Again, it's easy to remove masking tape, but also it looks quite reliable when you put it on. So let's talk about the softbox. The softbox would be combined from the 4 cardboards, which are stick together as box with the opening towards you. It has to have the inner surface, it has to be covered with the foil paper so that it reflects the light, and the part that lights you will have to be covered with the baking paper. So you can see the plan on the screen, and basically I think you can create the softbox. It's gonna be looking a little bit messy and unprofessional, but who knows what are you using? You will just show the picture. So if it's a solution for you, I hope it works. But what you have to be careful about is that the baking paper, it has to be white. Same goes for diffuser that we discussed previously. The baking paper has to be white. If you don't have baking paper, I have here the garbage bag. Again, so if your diffuser is, you don't have the baking paper for diffuser, then also you can use the bag, which is the garbage bag, and it can do the work for you. You can see it's transparent, but it will diffuse the light. That is all. I hope to see what your setup will be, and we will move on to preparing content, of course, planning the content. See you in the next video.